All right, welcome guys to the Santino seminar. Santino's flying from Montreal, so his plane does not land in Knoxville to 2:40. So we've had a little confusion about the times, but we do have the NWA guys here. They're going to go ahead and start with everybody and look at everybody. We'll probably split you guys up and do promos and then some in-ring time. Santino should be here about 3:15 or so. Okay, and then we'll start with him, and then he can look at everybody and see what he thinks. So we'll kick it off. I'm going to introduce Joe Kazana.
Everybody good?
Yeah.
I can't hear you all. Come on.
Yeah.
You're supposed to be here to have a good time and to learn, right?
Yep.
Aaron Stevens is without a doubt probably the best, but probably the best promo guy around. Silas Mason, AJ. Casey doesn't talk, but we know he can talk. But Silas is one of the absolute best promo guys in the business. You can learn a lot from him. Definitely learn a lot from Aaron Stevens. There's no doubt about it. If anybody remembers some of the stuff that Aaron's done through his career, it's incredible. Incredible. Just quit being so modest. Anyway, I'm going to turn this over to him.
Hello, everyone. I like booing better, but all right, how are y'all? And for some of you, you may be asking yourself, who is this younger, better-looking version of Santino? Aaron Stevens. I wrestled all over. I used to be called Damian Sandow, used to be called Mizdow, whatever, there's Wikipedia. I once again find myself covering for Mr. Marella, but him and I have been friends for like 20 years. You know, and just a little bit of tidbit of information, right? If you can get out of this industry and count on one hand the number of your true friends, you're very, very lucky. And, you know, so him and I are tight, and pretty much, again, we work for different companies, but he'll come, he'll look at you guys, but essentially we all look for the same thing. And I, to be quite honest with all of you, dislike wrestling, and I say that kind of jokingly, maybe, but the thing is, what the business is, I think, a lot of times with social media, which is very important, we have to keep our social media game tight. The business has changed, but a lot of the principles are starting to get kind of twisted and convoluted, right? If I use this analogy all the time. If you look at every single car on the road, there's tractor trailers, there's Fiats, there's Fords, there's Teslas, there's motorcycles, there's all kinds of different vehicles. The wheels are all round, right? So what accelerates the vehicle is the same. And in professional wrestling, if you know you want to do this, right? Like, raise your hand if you'd like to make some money at this. Perfect, right? So yeah, we're not here to get poor, right? There's ways of doing this to get over. And there is an art to getting over. And it's an art that a lot of times, and Joe and I were talking, where, you know, the industry used to be a secret society, now it's a public pool. But the problem with that is, to get the real knowledge of how to do this and how to translate what you do in here into zeros in your bank account, right? Because that's, you know, and look, yes, we love what we do. And in order to do this, you have to have that passion, because if you're doing this 300 days a year and you don't feel like you're Superman or Superwoman in here, or whoever your favorite superhero is in here, when you're doing it, there's something wrong with you, right? So we all have to love it like that, but we all have to treat this like a business. And the hardest part sometimes of treating this like a business is having to look at ourselves objectively. And the best way we can view ourselves objectively is to use our ears. What is our feedback? What is our feedback from the audience? Right? I say this all the time to the kids at NWA. The performance does not start when the bell rings. The performance starts when you walk through that curtain. Think about when you've met someone for the first time, like just outside of wrestling, right? We have 3 to 5 seconds where we look at someone and we kind of assess them and we form judgments, right? And it's not that we're judgmental people, but it's who we are biologically, right? It's a survival mechanism back to the prehistoric days, right? It just is what it is. When we see someone for the first time, we immediately make assumptions. When Joe wears the white suit, right? I mean, I don't know if you guys have seen him in that. I'm very particular to that version.
It's in the trunk.
very particular that version of Joe, but like, people make up their minds, right? And that's what we want to do. So taking risks is a good thing, but we have to be honest with ourselves, like, did it pay off or did it not pay off? And then we have to be willing to abandon certain things, right? It may be a costume, it may be a gimmick, it may be our music, anything. And it may be sometimes the way we view this industry. Because getting over translates to getting rich. And that's the only way I can put it. And you know, you guys are very lucky to have good trainers in here, you know, people who have made money that you can kind of look them up, see their body of work, and say, okay, you know what, this is someone I'd like training me. So again, kudos to you guys, you know, for coming here and showed out. And you know, travel happens, but I would like to make myself as available, and I'm actually quite more endearing than Santino in real life. I know that may be hard to believe, but he's not a very nice person. I'm kidding. But no, he's one of like he's family, really. So it'll be really good. I know him and I talked the other day. He's very excited to come down here. But in the meantime, in between time, first of all, does anybody have any questions? Very cool. Oh, yes.
This is for both you and Joe, because this is important for these guys to hear. In both your opinions, how critical is it for these guys to be able to talk?
No, I mean, honestly, in this time of professional wrestling, you've got to be able to talk. You can't be afraid. Even if you're the worst talker in the world, you can listen. AJ will tell you right now, Dad cannot talk. You know, unless he gets pissed off and he yells and he doesn't think about what he's doing. And that's the way professional wrestling is now. In my day, it was about your body of work. You know, you still got to have a great body of work. You've got to be able to get in the ring and wrestle. But in this time, you do have to be able to talk. You do have to be able to do social media, and I can do neither. And Tim Storm would always tell us he can't do either one either. He's learning, so I'm learning as we go. I get better, but you got to be able to talk.
Yeah, and I mean, like, when we look at what talking means, right, we kind of have a tendency to compartmentalize the business into different things, right? We have, well, there's my ring work, and there's my character, and then there's my promos, right? And look, we all do it because, frankly, those categories make sense to all of us, right? Because we're all, at root, wrestlers, right? And we will always have kind of that wrestling mentality. But, you know, again, if we follow the same rules, right? Like, the wheel is still round, but we can decorate that wheel any way we want it. You have to sell yourself. Okay, like I made a comment about your gear. For whatever reason, your gear stands out. You got a mask on, you know, the punishing patriot. I don't know who you are, right? Maybe your gimmick is you don't talk. Maybe it is, right? It's better to be able to talk, but here's the thing. Talking is a vehicle to sell us. We are selling ourselves. You can make whatever weird joke you want about that, but there's no doubt about it. We are selling ourselves. When we are on television, and even when we're in front of a crowd, when we're just starting out, if it's the same crowd that we're going to be once a month, twice a month, or fairly regularly, we are selling ourselves to the crowd. So bottom line, and I'm just using you as an example, if you don't talk, you better be able to communicate to the audience in a different way. When I was in Puerto Rico, I didn't speak Spanish. I had to learn how to make inflections in my voice to where maybe they didn't know what I was saying, but they knew it was about them. So, you know, you learn a couple choice words and a couple choice insults, but then you can just ramble on in a language they don't understand. And if you have your body language, how we stand is important. How our character is important. You know, if I'm going to go in a Sandow, right, I'm going to go like this, and I'm going to speak with each and every one of you ignoramuses a certain way, but I don't really think you're ignoramuses. I was using the example of a character, right? And that is how we have to be. And you know, Joe, I would argue this, if he can't do a promo, he's never done better work in my knowledge of him, because in order to really do this, and it takes years, right? It does take years, because we have to master the basics. And by the way, can anyone tell me the difference between pros and everyone else? Pros are brilliant at the basics, not good. To where, I mean, look, I've been on pay-per-views, the top rope is broken. One time at TNA, the lights went out, who cares? I've had my partners get injured and we have 2 segments to go. I've gone out there on Raw. And Mike Chioda's come up to me and says, we have another segment. It was me and Cody versus the Colognes. We didn't panic, but that's another 3 minutes through commercial and 6 minutes coming back on TV. We're pros. We can deal with time cues. We work with each other. We don't kill each other, because anyone that brags, oh, I was stiff, they're a mark. And there is no other way to put it. Maybe at this level, guys are coming up and they want to, but when you get to the pros, phew, and then I'm just giving you the reality. You hit someone like, Undertaker like that, gone. They will have nothing to do with you. And the key to this is making it look like it is excruciating and not killing each other. Because we want to be able to do this the next night. It's bad enough we gotta fall down in the bumps and everything like that. I don't need to dangerously hit you in a play. And again, to lay it in, I'm all for that, but it's in safe places, right? So a lot of that's common sense, and a lot of that goes back to who you got your training from. So you guys are definitely in the right vicinity here. So again, I'm giving you guys a lot of stuff, but selling yourself is so important, because if you don't sell yourself, no one's gonna buy it. So promos, I mean, they're crucial, but we shouldn't just in some of the stuff I've seen, when people come in and they're, well, I'm a promo guy. I'm just in a ring. No, you want to be good at this and you want to make money. You got to be able to do everything and look good doing it. Our physical shape is very important, right? And look, especially nowadays, wrestlers they come in all shape and sizes. But we have to be the best version of ourselves. But this is the reality. I've had 3 segments on Raw wrestling for the world title, doing knockdown dragouts. I've done street fights, I've done brawls, and I've also wrestled the Invisible Man for almost a year and never made more money in my life doing it, right? These are the situations we have to be prepared for. If we view this from, I'm just a this kind of guy or girl, or I'm just a this kind of guy or girl, that limits your dimensions. And the reality is, if someone can do everything, they'll blow you out of the water, right? I've been very fortunate enough, because like I said, don't particularly care for wrestling, but yet, when it's done correctly, there is nothing I love more, truly. And I've done, films, TV, all that, whatever, and been kind of in different things, but when this is done right, it is the greatest form of performance on the planet, because it incorporates everything. Athleticism, physicality, drama, and it's all wrapped into one, and in the larger than life characters, it's magic. It is truly magic, right? And wrestling, and I'll close with this and then we can turn it back, but just remember, it's never about moves, it's about moments. It's Hogan and Andre face to face. It's Hogan Rock face to face. It's Steve Austin in the sharpshooter bleeding, right? And babyface, I need to look good. No, you need to sell. If people gave as much attention to selling as they did to how they want to look, and I need to be a very different business, and we probably have a lot more money, because we'd be working with each other. I tell Carson all the time, I go, you need to be the best seller in the company. In the sense of, you need to take the best butt whooping. I'm not cussing because there's children here. But the best butt whooping. And here's an example, Ric Flair. He had spots when he was selling, the face bump, right? There was an art to the way Ric Flair sold. There's an art to the way Terry Funk sold. I mean, my God, Ricky, need any of us say more? So we all need to find our unique way of how to sell, and we need to put just as much thought into that until we have it right, and until it becomes natural as anything else. Because if you want to know when you're doing this right, here's the magic keystone. You have to forget you're a wrestler while you're in here doing it. You have to simply reach a level of relaxation and comfort to where Joe and I are doing a spot, I am worried about Aaron Stevens or Damian Sandow, wherever my character is, wrestling Boss Kazana. No, and that's the reality. And it's just like, you hit this vibe where you just relax and you just allow. And it takes a while to get there. And some people, you know, you get that little taste of it, and you know it when you feel it. So that's what we should all be working for. So again, I'm here to help in any way I can, and I will now turn it over to the boss.
Who in here thinks they cut a good promo? Come and do one. You.
Josh Turner, you might have been on The Walking Dead. You might have been on television. People might know who you are. You might be a big man. But let me tell you who I am. My name is Keith Gavins, and I've come from the bottom to where I'm at now, and I'm not stopping, Josh. One day I'll be the guy on TV. One day I'll be the guy that you look at and say, I want to wrestle him.
Yeah, 5 seconds.
Until then, Josh, until then, I'm going to make you know who I am.
Right? Believable. Like that was like whatever you believed what you were saying. Try this. Number one, all right. What was good about that promo? Anyone?
He was confident.
Yep.
Intensity.
The delivery.
Yep.
Believe, like, you know who he was. You know,
Yep.
you told everything who he was, where he was about.
Hey, what's up, man?
There was a point.
Yeah. Made it put dude, all that, and you said your name. Very, very important. Every time we have a microphone. And here's, again, a little tidbit about if you want to learn the art of getting over. I know we want to be different, we want to be cool and unique, but we have to hit, as far as our character goes, we have to play the same notes every single time. The Rock did the same pose. He did the people's elbow, the spine buster, and the rock bottom. Right? Bottom line. Like it or not, that works. And if you look at every single top performer, they have their toolbox that they go to. If you do not do the same thing all the time until you get to the point, and then when you get to the point, you realize that's what people want to see and that's what making money is, you will not have the success. And I'm going to use these two little shit buggers as an example. There's a team in NWA called the Slime Balls. I saw them and I could not stand the way they looked. I told them they looked like everything I stand against in this industry and have my whole life. They don't look like they're good enough to be garbage men. And I'm not kidding. Now, they're working out and they've gotten better, right? This is a year ago. But they had something that you just could not deny. And I said, here's what we're going to do. And I gave them the formula. We're going to do this every time. Right? And they're in their early 20s, so all their friends are coming up with new ways to throw themselves off of the ropes and the roof and everything. Bottom line, and again, I'm using it as an example, would I put the NWA tag titles on them now? No. But they sell more t-shirts than anybody in the company. They move more merchandise than anybody in the company. Bottom line, there is a direct correlation to applying the art of getting over and how much money you make. It's that simple, and it's sometimes, again, when it was taught to me, it's sometimes a tough pill to swallow. But if we approach this about getting over, life changes. And again, so with that, again, very good promo. If you could try it again, and the one thing, your tone, right? I'm gonna, you know what I mean? Try to go up and down when you said Josh Turner. Explain Josh Turner, explain who you are, and then when you want to get mad, then get mad. So like play with the. Be a little more even feel like this talking, and we can tell about Josh Turner, and then you can maybe get a little mad, tell how, you know, okay, he was on The Walking Dead, so what? This is a wrestling ring, you know, and then you can get maybe even a little more mad, and then when you drive the point home, that's when you're at your most, and then just pause and look at the camera for like 5 seconds after. So just try it right now. Play with it.
Josh Turner. Everybody knows who Josh Turner is. They know TKO. They know the Fighting for Autism guy. But see, Josh, you're just gonna be my stepping stone. Because see, Josh, I'm tired of being at the bottom. I'm tired of not rising to the top, Josh. So I'm gonna use you. I'm gonna use you, Josh, to get to where I need to be. See you soon, Josh.
Thank you. That's all. Good. Set up a camera and do a 1-minute promo. Who are you? So, in other words, what's your name? Which, hello everyone, my name is Paul Heyman. We all know who he is, but here's the thing. Here's what Paul taught me. Every time we go out here, we have to assume nobody knows who we are. Right? And there is no greater feeling than to be just kicking it backstage, they hit your music, and you hear a building erupt before you come out. I mean, I'm talking 10, 15, 20,000 people, and you're just like, huh. Right? Here we go. We're going to have fun now. But when you go through the curtain, right, it's a double-edged sword. You're at a comfort level that is like that. But when you go through there, your performance, you are performing as if nobody knows who you are. And they are seeing you for the first time. Paul does it all the time. You know, hello everyone, my name is Paul Heyman. Allow me to beg your indulgence for a moment. My name is Jason Sandow. It works every time, right? And I've been off TV, like mainstream TV, for a minute, right? And it's weird, they'll still come up to me, right? It's about creating the moments. And at the end of the day, you look at a guy like Santino, again, black belt in judo. He was doing a gimmick, and I still call him Boris to this day. He was an OVW, his name was Boris. He was a Russian shoot fighter. The gimmick was great. It was freaking awesome. He gets a call. He's going to go win the title from Umaga, and the next thing you know, he's Santino Marella. Well, what did he do? He adapted. Because if you have a skill set that allows you to adapt, any ex-military here? Current military? Right, adapt and overcome? Dude, same stuff here. Right? I never pictured when I was training at Kowalski's, I'd be wrestling the Invisible Man. But you know what? I had to do something. Right? And understand, like, again, if you want to make money, your ears are the most important tool you'll ever have.
I know that everybody comes into this building looking to secure a legacy. I know that these fans have come here and they've listened to the older folks and the younger folks talk about their legacy. But here's the problem. Legacies have to do with the past and the future. Ryan Mantis is the here and the now. There is no legacy because there's only one Ryan Mantis, one legend, one legacy, no successors. Fight endlessly and relentlessly. Live in fear.
Does anybody think that was a babyface promo? No.
No, it was not. More importantly, it was a wrestling promo. Key to doing a good wrestling promo is don't do a wrestling promo. Have a conversation. Here's what I mean. That camera is a single entity that just happens to be, roughly like 1 million people or something like that, whatever we're looking at, right? However big our audience is. Even if it's in a live show, I translate this to the live show too. They are one entity, one consciousness, if you will, not to get too esoteric, but that you can manipulate the emotions of. All right, if you say exactly what you said, right? Like say along those same lines. If you just talk like this, if you just explain who you are, and that you're not going to have any of this guy's games or BS or whatever. And you know what I mean? I tried doing that and try just make it, you can make it conversational, it can be intense. You know, and again, movies are great, right? Get inspiration from movies. Jake Roberts, Jake was a movie star when he was in promos. Wrestlers didn't talk like that. Wrestlers talked like Hulk Hogan, right? Now, in wrestling, again, that promo, it followed a certain cadence that we all do. And by cadence, I mean we talk like this, and then we are going to talk like this again. And then when we wrap this promo up, we're going to wrap it up like this because every single wrestler has done it this way. Believe that, daddy. Right? Like that's let's be different. Let's use our imaginations. Let's use our toolboxes or the internet. AI, it's a wonderful thing.
Yes, it is.
But play with it. So try that again, and I want you to just try it a different way. And here's the thing. Okay, that's your camera. Well, guess what? You have this to play with. You have this to play with. Go nuts. Just don't do what you did.
It is an honor to step into a building where there are so many legends and pioneers of this industry. And I'm just one of the thousands of people who've spent their entire lives stepping up and climbing up again and again whenever I'm torn down. But then when you have people like KC Kazana, who come into this company and it's given to them, they're given the best opportunities and they treat it like it's for granted, that makes me sick.
Okay, perfect. Perfect. Keep the mic. Now we're going to have a conversation. Again, we're at a bar. What's your name, sir?
Ryan Mantis.
Ryan, why do you like wrestling?
I love wrestling because it gave me a purpose and a drive.
What was that purpose, Ryan?
That purpose was to be the top, best performer that I can be at every single place that I go.
Good. I need you to keep doing just that, and I need you to just lock eyes with me or the camera. Pick one. You're fine. Just keep that. How long you been training?
12 years.
Okay. Out of those 12 years, like, what lessons have you learned?
I learned that the more you think you know, the less you know. The more you learn, the less you know.
And then Ryan Mantis, that's a lesson he needs to learn, would you say?
I would say that's a lesson he needs to keep to, yes.
Yeah. And you know what? I think you're the guy to teach him that, right? It's okay. Talk. It's okay. No. This is we're opening up some shit here. I mean, stuff. Sorry. No, like have a conversation with me.
Yes.
Okay. Good. How are you going to teach him that?
I'm going to teach him that by getting in that ring.
Don't do your cadence. Just talk to me. Don't talk to me. Just talk to me like that. Say what you're going to say. Just talk to me.
I'm going to teach them that because I'm going to get in that ring and show them that you cannot go off of pre-contextual ideas. I may look like something, but there's a lot more to what you see than what there is.
Good. I want you to grab the mic like this, and I want you to talk like this now, okay? How do you really feel about Ryan Mantis?
I feel like Ryan
Don't
Mantis.
move. Don't move. Just try. It's okay. And no, this is trust me, it's working. Go like this. Your body remains stiff, and I just want you to have a regular conversation. Any kind of stuff you have going on, it's okay. Let it project. You're not going to make a mistake. All right? What are you going to do to Ryan Mantis?
What I'm going to do to Ryan Mantis is I'm going to step into that ring and I'm going to demonstrate to him that when you make mistakes, when you get lazy, there are consequences. The only way to do that is to hurt you badly, and do it in a way that every single time you look in that mirror or you walk down the street and look at other people's faces, you remember that pain that I inflicted onto you.
There are 3 positions people watch wrestling and really consume entertainment. Right? We're a form of entertainment sometimes. But never forget this. 3 positions. Position 1 is this. Make believe the turnbuckle. Background noise. Right? Yeah, it's on. Whatever, it's there. We're talking to our friends. We're just kind of like, we just want to know what's going to happen so we don't have to read the student sheets. Position 2. You have a vested interest in what's going on. You are actively watching to see what happens. What is Cena going to say when he comes back? What, Stone Cold Steve back in the late 90s, Stone Cold Steve Austin, what was he going to do? Kurt Angle driving, like, you didn't know what was going to happen. The characters were amazing, right? Like, it was just a kind of magical time. But you were actively watching the product. Position 3, you're up out of your seat having some kind of a just emotional reaction where you're just screaming, you're happy, you're mad, you're yelling at a heel, you're so happy that the babyface won, right? And does that kind of register with everybody? Does anyone think of a different position people consume our product in? Well, that would be
you know, I'm talking about attention. This is a way to show attention style.
Lying down.
Okay, well, yes, okay, when you're laying down in bed, I don't mean, that was more of a metaphor for your physical position. I was talking about your attention, right? Like how your attention span is, right? Are you giving this full attention? Is it background noise? Or are you just so enthralled with what's going on, you're having some kind of an emotional reaction, right? Does everyone know what I mean? I've actually watched this while on a inversion table upside down, right? Because my interest level was, again, depending on what was going on. Those three positions are the key. It starts from the time we walk through the curtain, right? Position one sucks, because that means we're background noise. That means all the hard work we put in designing our tights and getting our boots, and never mind learning how to fall down, and miles on our car, time away from our families, and all the wonderful, horrible things that go along with this, that we put into it, and we come to the ring, if they are not where we want them, we are not doing our jobs right. And we have to evaluate ourselves, and we have to make decisions, add, subtract, whatever. But if what we're doing is not working, we have to make changes if we want to continue to progress in this. So that will be your ultimate feedback, right? How are people reacting to you? And when they consume, how are they consuming you? Are you background noise, or are you a rooted interest leading to a guttural reaction? Because there's no position 3, which is your butt up out of the seat or bed, without position 2, right? If they don't go, who is this person? Or what's going on? You cannot get them to emotionally invest so much, right? Does that make sense? Kind of, right? Any other questions with that? Okay, good. So that was the main takeaway of the day. Now we can get back to our regular scheduled seminar.
It's me, the most successful man in professional wrestling today, and NWA World Television Champion, Carson Drake. Tomorrow night at School of Morton, unfortunately for him, I have to wrestle Joe Kazana, Slow Kazana. Joe, you were talented, like when Jesus was born, but wrestling's like the 8th best thing I do, golf being the 7th, and I've seen you golf, Joe. You spend more time in the sand than Hasselhoff. You and your little stooge family, the Kazanas, are going to learn a very valuable lesson. You can't beat me.
All right, good. Reason being, he said his name, right? He said his name, you know who he was, what he was about. He's the most successful man in pro wrestling, and what he was going to do. Every promo you do where they say introduce yourself, that's it. Who are you? What's your name? What are you about? What's your gimmick? What are you going to do? But good, Carson. And again, I just wanted to, number one, test you, but number two, kind of give you guys an example, because I've had the opportunity to work with Carson a little more on this. You have to be able to, thank you, you have to be able to do this on a moment's notice, in your sleep, no questions asked. Oh, yeah? Yeah, that's
You said it, I just saw it.
There's Bob Dylan, right? There's Metallica, right? Every band has their gimmick. Taylor Swift, it's a gimmick. But it's a good gimmick, right? As far as money goes, right? People are buying it. So you got to find the right thing. Taylor Swift can't do Kiss. There was a famous quote. Does anyone know who Liberace is?
Yes.
Okay. Truly an OG of fashion, but the guy used to have a show where he played the piano. He was a concert pianist. And his thing was showmanship, right? That's what his name was, Mr. Showmanship. He'd have a candelabra, he'd have these giant rings and his outfits and stuff. You should look him up. Great inspiration for wrestling, by the way, if it's the right fit for your character. But someone criticized, oh, you know, let's just face it, Liberace's no Chopin. His response to that, that's right, but Chopin's no Liberace. That's very deep. That's very, very deep. The Rock could not be Stone Cold Steve Austin, and vice versa. But The Rock could be the best version of The Rock ever. right? And vice versa. Things to keep in mind, right? Like, people say, oh, you can do anything, you can do anything. I can't play in the NBA, right? That's a cold, hard fact. Maybe, like, there's a gimmick that I would get one day and I'd be like, how do I do this, right? You never know. We're all human, we're all limited. But it's operating within the margins that you're given. There's people at NWA that don't like their characters, and they come to me and they say, how do I do this, right? I want to be viewed as X, and they're giving me Y. You know what? You do X your way, and eventually Y is going to come out.
Obviously, I'm going to get cut off, but I want to talk for real. I want to get real. And I'm talking to you, Joe. And I want to show you something. This isn't TKO talking to you. Joe, this is Josh Turner. And I'm coming to you about this Sunday because everybody in this world that's ever seen me knows one thing. I love you, Joe. I love your family. I've known AJ and KC since they were children. And I'm asking you, man to man, and beyond that, father to father. Joe, think about what you're doing. You have time to back out. Please don't make me hurt your kids. Joe, more importantly, as a father, don't make me embarrass you in front of your children. Please make a wise decision.
Cool.
Oh, boo, hoo, hoo.
Okay, what was the moment in that promo where the tide changed?
When he took the vest off.
Bingo, right? Awesome. We all got that. Money. What helps us, right? Think of it like a bow and arrow. The further you pull the bow back, when you let it go, the more the arrow goes. The farther, the faster, etc., etc. So, in the realm of this, right, this is just me, right? I would have started out like this because I have something to say to Joe Kazana. And then once I had Joe Kazana's attention, I would take my vest off and I would say, Joe, I need you to listen to me very, very carefully. I've known you for years. I love you. I love your family. Your sons plotted my own death behind me when I made them wear white tights. But you stuck up for me, Joe, and I appreciate that. When I had the idea of a horrible song, you stood by me. And I appreciate that, but Joe, I'm going to tell you something, Father. You see what I did with like I kind of started out like this, like it was a regular wrestling promo, not giving anyone a hint of what was coming, and then I just got real.
Yeah.
Right.
Oh, yeah, please.
I want to get everybody's attention real close. Let me remind you of who I am, who we are. I am TKO, and we are the Saviors. With that said, Joe, hey Kazana, I got something to say to you. Joe, I want you to listen very close, and I want you to pay attention. This is between me and you, man to man, father to father. Joe, I love you. I love your family. I love your children, Casey and AJ. And I need you to think long and hard about the decision you're about to make. Because if you go through this with us on Sunday, I am going to hurt you in front of your children. Please, Joe, one friend to another, take my advice and apologize and back down.
Joe Kazana will now sing I Won't Back Down by Tom Petty.
Hey.
Yeah, we'll get you a second.
Keep your mask down.
Well, you got my attention.
Allow me to briefly introduce myself. I'm the molder of excellence.
Lars, hold on here, buddy. I should be doing an introduction. You're the guru of charisma. Hey. Don't forget I'm the voice without a face. The creator of the peanut butter and jelly sandwich, while being allergic to peanuts, which entitles me to the name to receive your miracles, Lars Madison. And I'm the Alexander the Great to your Aristotle of the Ring. You're damn right. And we're gonna be the champion undisputed, respected, saluted, and seen for the wonders we am.
Okay, can I talk to you? Well, I get that.
Yeah.
I get that. Dude, okay, commitment, we can't deny this. And this is like, and I get you're doing a promo for them. Here's what I'd like you to do. Always, always, always. Here's another little golden nugget. Your camera operators and your TV announcers, they are your best friends. Put them on your Christmas card list, buy their children birthday presents, etc., etc. Can anyone tell me why? That is how the world sees you. The announcers tell the world what to think about you. Right? Usually there's a heel face announce team, and if JR liked someone, they were usually kind of a good guy, and they wore, you know, the white hat. If King liked someone, they tended to be a little more heelish, right? This is all subconscious things, but we want to get, and plus they know the names of your moves, you can tell them what to do, and there's so many layers to this, and we haven't gotten into the in-ring stuff yet, but when people say slow down, how many of us in the history of our careers have ever had a veteran tell us to slow down? Do we know why? Yep. Once upon a time there was Goldilocks and three bears, came out. That was right. You can't. Once upon a time there was a girl named Goldilocks, and I don't know the story of Goldilocks, but she got into some shit with three bears, and there was honey involved, and a wolf came and tried to blow the house down. But did you guys see? If I'm talking too fast, you guys can't understand me, right? Think of how simple that is. If I am talking too fast, you can't understand me. And if I tell a joke that it's funny, or in Carson's case, not. But here's the thing. With the dad joke, that was bad, but it was bad in a way that made me hate him, right? At no point were you like, all right, no. It was kind of like, that's stupid. And then he'd do that stupid laugh, right? Thank you, Carson. But he would go on to the next thing. You guys see how that's keeping your attention, right? It's his personality that delivered a certain way and presented a certain way is what makes it work. He is a rich a-hole, right? But most people are like, okay, the gimmick is he's rich, he's trying to be. No. Carson is an a-hole, he's a jerk. He happens to be rich. We all know people like that, right? So it's a relatable character. Thrilly. Thrillbilly, he is the guy that when he gets going, ain't no stopping him. Turn him on, turn him loose, right? Like, we all know that guy. So you have to be kind of archetypal in a way to where people, people can relate to you, right? There's, again, you have kind of a cowboy gimmick going on, mustache is cool. There's luchadors, right? Different masks and things like that. Okay, awesome. How are they going to relate to you? So, I know that was long-winded, sorry, but I have a tendency to ramble. Camera angle. Know where your cameras are. All the time, every time. To this day, I can tell you, there was like Stu, Marty, Hardcase, you know what I mean? Like for the WWE stuff. Impact, same thing. NWA, where Shane is, who shoots the entrance, who's in what corner, right? And you have to know this. Camera angle, make believe there's a little laser beam, right? So with your line, right, your line is obviously, see how it's right down the center, right? That's the access. So first thing, okay, we have our camera angle right here. Get a way of turning yourself, like if you go here, where it's not as shaky, right? So you want to go from here, and maybe you just pivot, right, to here, right? And make sure half the face, to here, and talk, as long as the camera can shoot you. You know what I mean? And try that, and then play with the voices a little more. Feel a little more, I don't know if you could almost be like a certified public accountant when you go this way, because maybe that is just your personality. But when you go like this, you turn into friggin' the bearded dragon. So, okay, cool.
Are you ready, kid? Lars, you got the glue in your hand, and I'm sticking to the plan. Let me tell you something. I'm training you to be a champion undisputed. Do you understand that? You can pollute the world with a filthy tongue, Lars. Let's get to polluting. We're here to win. It don't matter if we cheat. As long as we win. We're gonna be ruthless. Do you get that, kid? I get that, but I'm gonna be kinder. Oh no! You're gonna make a symphony out of their cries. You're gonna turn their tears into wine, and I'm gonna get drunk off of it. Do you understand me? Yes, sir. We're gonna be champion undisputed, respected, saluted, and seen for the wonders we am.
Dude, yeah.
Have you ever felt the pain and mundaneness of your everyday job? You ever woken up and wondered, maybe there's something more? Maybe there's times when you just want to choke the life out of somebody that's in your way. Maybe you need some therapy or a therapist. Ladies and gentlemen, my name is Michael Gabriel, and I can be your guiding light. Because I've experienced pain and suffering in my own life, and I wonder how it would be on the other side. Well, I can tell you this, whether or not it's in the ring, whether it's not face to face, I can show you the guiding light. And together, we can let it shine.
Is sit here and talk like a therapist, if you would, but not just any therapist. A therapist in one of those TV commercials that air on whatever those reality shows are on boats and things like that, that just want to help people. And your name again?
Michael Gabriel.
But then you say, hello, my name is Michael Gabriel. And I'm here to not act as your therapist, but so you can say what you said, but I need you to be a little more commercial salesman. Here's why. Does anyone know what juxtaposition is? Contrast. The reality is, if you learn the art of getting over, it is like shooting fish in a barrel right now. I'm not kidding. Like, the fact that I have a full-time job and I'm like, but again, when it's done correctly, there's nothing better. But if you have the skill set, it is a very, very easy time to score a touchdown, hit a grand slam, or whatever your favorite sports analogy is. Who cares? The reality is we all have it. We need to find out what it is and exploit it. And that's the hardest thing to do, because what we feel sometimes makes us kind of unique and not normal, because we want to fit in with people. It's kind of in our DNA. But when we're on this stage and those lights are on, just let it shine. Truly, let it shine. And that can, again, the juxtaposition, how we do that, how we present it, it all matters. So I know I'm giving you guys a lot of stuff. Is there any questions up to this point? Is anyone bored or anything like that? I know you, like, all right, you guys are getting something out of this? Yes, sir. All right, sweet. And please give me feedback and be very honest with me, because it's, I want you guys to truly learn this. I don't do many of these, so it's pretty nice to be there. So try it again, and just like be a salesman, but still be you. But you're maniacal, whatever. Just try it a little differently. Sit down and talk competition. I love the white glove on the left hand.
Have you ever felt that you may have a couple screws loose? Maybe you think that when you open up your mind, when you sit there and walk through our mundane lives, that maybe there's just something more. I hear a lot about purpose. I hear a lot about just significance in this life. Because I Michael Gabriel, I used to be that way too. But I'll tell you this, is that I found my purpose. It came to me even though I resisted, even though I had everything coming against me. And that is how I let my light shine before many. And you can do that too. All you have to do is let me be your therapy and your therapist. And you truly can let it shine.
Good. No.
I like that.
Yeah.
Thank you, sir.
Excellent. Good job.
Thank you.
See the difference? Right? Sometimes just trying something different will lead us down a whole new path. Next. Oh, there he is. What's up, brother? What's up, brother? How you doing? You all right? Good. How you doing?
12 years. 12 years of a whirlwind of emotion. 12 years of them telling me I'd never be good enough. I'd never be at the School of Morton. I'd never be in the presence of legends like Joe Kazana, Aaron Stevens, AJ Kazana, KC Kazana, NWA. I'd never be in that spot. Well, I'm the American Diesel dump truck. And I'm here to tell you, I'm here to put everybody on notice. I'm here and I'm taking my damn spot. Believe that.
That's exactly what I did. I believe that. You communicated or talked or spoke or promoted, whatever the word is, right? Like you look, and it was believable and it worked. So, very good, man. Thank you.
Well, hello, boys and girls. I'm Squeaks the Clown. As I take a look around here, there's a lot of funny looking people. Look at that one. Now, I know a lot of people, almost everybody, maybe twice a year. Y'all have all heard my jokes, but not one of you has ever seen my punchline.
Have you ever tried playing with the clown so we're just talking here, right? You guys remember Evil Doink, or if you're old enough to remember that, but clowns are clowns. Like a clown in and of itself, or him or herself, is an archetype, okay? They're clowns. So, dude, howdy, my name is Squeaker, Tennessee Clown. Some people call me and I'm just coming up with something, you can do whatever you want. Some people call me the redneck clown, but here in these parts, we don't much like that. As clowns, we are a misunderstood people. As clowns, we have been clowned on. Well, I'm here to tell you that I am through being the punchline or whatever, right? Just try something like that. Try, and it doesn't have to be what I just did. Give me another personality in clown makeup and then tie it into being a clown. Does that make sense?
Hey, my name is Matt Sable, the XX superstar, the undeniable truth. And let me tell you about the truth about loyalty. You know, loyalty is about being there for people, being about a business, a company. But here's the thing about loyalty. At the end of the day, loyalty only gets you so far. At the end of the day, loyalty screws you over. Loyalty makes you the other man's dog. The other man's something they can't be. So, screw loyalty, I'm gonna get mine.
That was the best part I've ever seen you do.
Did everyone see how that felt different? Now, I said, make believe you're in a movie, not doing a wrestling promo, yet he did the best wrestling promo he ever did. That's that weird friggin' riddle, or conundrum, or whatever you call it, paradox. So, and the thing is, it's fun. Like, it's okay, it's fun. And you know, sometimes, you know, and I've had a couple people like, oh, I'm a little nervous, right? Here's the thing about being nervous. It's perfectly okay to be nervous. And I equate this, when I started Killer Kowalski's, he had a rule about blowing up. I learned it my first day. He goes, anyone that comes out of this school will never, ever blow up. He goes, and here's the secret. You can blow up in here, you just don't sell it till you get to the back. And then ask Santino, I don't do cardio. Never have. Because, I mean, I probably should now, but no, it is mental. And it's okay to be nervous. Look, I was nervous my first time, several times doing promos and stuff. But when we can develop the muscle to where we let ourselves, we give ourselves enough grace to where, all right, when I'm in my gear or I'm working, because this is work, and someone is filming me, when that red light and the camera is on, you are simply never nervous, you are in control. Because, and I tell this to everybody I work with, right? At some point, the choices you made in your lives have led you to a point where there's another person filming you. And there's lights and there's people talking about you, so every time you do a promo in the ring or whatever, okay, my life has gotten me to this point where somebody thinks I am worth investing attention in. That's what camera is. It's a machine that gives you the attention that you deserve. Don't be nervous because you're the boss. You are the boss. Even when you're in this is the highest level and you have levels of people trying to tell you what to do in this just complete structured system, at the end of the day, when you are in here or you have a live mic or whatever, you are the boss. Everyone is there for you. So just never forget that. And if that can help you kind of calm your anxiety, let it. Because again, there's the line of like the people that can do this and the people that can't. But everyone I've seen today falls in line, they absolutely do this.
Afternoon, everybody. My name is Logan Grove, and I don't crack under pressure. And I want to tell you about a time that I didn't crack under pressure. There was a time in my life where I came home from work. And normally when I came home from work, my girlfriend at the time would warmly greet me. Hey honey, how's your day? I love you, you know, let's have a great night together. So I walk home, I walk into the house, I go in my room. She's laying on the bed, playing on her phone, stone cold, real off. The vibes were off. So I walk up to her and said, hey, are you okay? Are things fine? She looks up at me, gets out of the bed, walks over to the dresser. Mind you, I just moved 24 hours prior. She opens the drawer, pulls out a pair of underwear, and she says, are you cheating on me? So, it took a moment. I collected myself. I was calm in the moment. I looked at her dead in her eyes. I said, sweetheart, that's my mom's underwear. So, when you step in the ring with me, and and things go wrong, if I'm having a fight from underneath, fighting to the top of this match to come back, and just know that when things aren't going right, I won't crack under pressure.
Okay, you didn't crack under pressure there? Good.
Yeah.
No, you did not.
Oh.
You know what you didn't do is stop.
Yeah.
And that, honestly, if I'm looking at someone, I look at things a little differently, but I'm usually always right. You did not crack under pressure, which leads me to believe you have whatever mental, whatever it is, to be able to do this. You ever seen the movie Falling Down with Michael Douglas?
I have. It's a great
Okay, I need you to be falling down when you're telling your story. I need you to tell your story in like 30 to 45 seconds so they can understand you. But you're just gonna go and you're gonna talk like this because you went home, and then when I went home, I try to make a living. I work 9 to 5, and I went home
And I went to go see my girlfriend who was laying on the bed and stone cold. I said, "What's the matter, honey? What?" She wasn't looking at me, wasn't talking to me. So then she goes in my, you know what I mean? Like that, say like that. And then after you talk like that, I need you to be just completely calm for the last 10 seconds of the promo, okay? So make this quicker because we got some time, but we'll try that. Get falling down. Okay. Where should I start? Wherever you want, dude. You have green light. Like
I'm in control.
My name is, so and here's what happened to me yesterday. Okay.
Yeah. My name is Logan Grove, and I don't crack under pressure. So let me tell you about a time I don't crack under pressure. I came home from work. I work a 9 to 5. I come in to the house. I expect the wife to warmly greet me. I walk in. I walk into the room. What happens? She's cold. She's cold as ice to me. I said, "Sweetheart, what's wrong? What is wrong?" So she gets up out of the bed. She storms over to the dresser. She opens the dresser drawer out, pulls out the underwear. She said, "Are you cheating on me?" She had the gall to ask me after I worked my 9 to 5 if I was cheating on her. So, in that moment, I calmed down. I slowed down. I told myself, I am in control. I looked her in her eyes. I said, "Sweetheart, those are my mother's underwear."
Dude, night and day between the first and the second one. Night and day. You see what we can do with just a little bit of hot sauce where we need it, when we have to hit the accelerator a little bit as far as how we're talking and the energy we're putting into it. It all matters. Good stuff. I would just challenge you to look at that before and after. Thank you. Okay.
Excuse me. Can I borrow you for a moment? Could you just hold this for me? Thank you very much. Shoo, bud. Aron Williams has walked into the School of Morton. And you know, I like to think that wherever the soles of my feet touch is mine. But don't you worry about it, baby, because I like to have a good time. I like to have fun. Now, that might be a little bit difficult for some of you because, you might like to have fun certain ways, but my type of fun, a little more unique. You see, I like to have fun by taking this here hip and turning it into a man's chest and hearing the air expel his lungs. Blowing out his back, if you will. But don't worry, baby, because it's all good. Unless, of course, you're standing across the ring from the dead ringer. Well then, you're not going to have a good time. But Aron Williams, he's going to have a great time.
Hey, I love that, right? Because the outfit, it's outlandish, right? Like, comic book character, check. And I love what you did. You were, letting people know who you are. And when you kind of got serious for a second, and there was a hint of genuine, psychopath in there. You know, because you didn't over-deliver it. Because in wrestling, we all have a tendency, not all of us, but some of us, where we have a tendency to over-deliver lines or phrases that don't need to be over-delivered. Sometimes when you're talking about ripping someone's lungs out or whatever it was, right? When you talk about it like this, that's the scariest thing in the world, right? So again, excellent character choices, man. That was pretty dope.
My name is Tank the Beast Parker. And I am the first open autistic pro wrestler. And I have a dream. That dream is to become the best wrestler in the world. Because I dream it. I believe it. Damien Sandow, I will achieve it.
I'd pay to see you. No, I mean, dude, really cool. You had when you walked in, your outfit. Okay, because it's a very, very similar thing to the slime balls, which I jokingly said. I said you could be one of the slime balls cousins from Tennessee. But no, here's the reality of it. you never know until you actually see someone perform. This version of the character, it works for you. Like, and I sometimes just don't know why. Something works, right? Why does Joe wearing a white suit, like, why is he a different human being? I don't know. But what you have works, and just continue to do it. Continue to cultivate it. And again, repetition, when we do something to where we hate it, which is it's kind of a joke that a lot of veterans have. Like, you want to know when you're really good at wrestling? When you don't want to do it. But you have to, because that's when you're making money at it. Okay? And now, again, double-edged sword, but it's a joke, but there's also some truth to it, right? Repetition, repetition, repetition.
You ever speak into a Pisces? Disillusion. Heartbreak. You see, now we're in the age of Aries. Hate. And you know, I feel a lot of hate bubbling up here in Newport. But the more things change, the more they stay the same. Yes, they do. You see, Newport, I've seen you change. But the Warlock Scholar Sage has stayed the same. And this Sunday, I will show you exactly what I've always been. And that's the best professional wrestler in Newport and the world.
That was a very good wrestling promo. Oh, we're not done.
I'm sorry.
I'm not through with you. Yes, tell me more about your character. Make believe you have a 30-second vignette on WWE. Okay. And just let us know who you are.
In the woods of the Appalachian Mountains, there are folklores that have been told for years and will continue to be told for years to come. What is the story of the Warlock Scholar Sage? That is the story that will be told next here in the WWE. I was raised in the middle of nowhere, in the middle of these woods, and I've seen things, man. I have seen the stars align, and I have seen the moon and the sun. And the sun will shine down on me here as I show every single one of you that the stars align for me and no one else.
Sweet, excellent, good job, good job. A little better, right? Got a little lost. No, you didn't. Remember, you cannot get lost. You said he got lost. No.
Hell yeah! Tennessee, I am pumped to be here! You know what? I'm coming for them belts! I am Notorious BBJ! First name Big, last name Judy, middle name Birdie! Crazy Paige, this one's for you! Up my ass!
You grabbed our attention, and now I want to see what you do in a ring. So, like, I can't mess with that. Good. No, like, yeah, I'm not going to mess with it.
Hey, yo, I don't think we met before. Right now, you're looking at the #1 point guard in professional wrestling, the master of the Eurostep, Jermaine Marbury. But I ain't come all the way from Rucker Park, New York, just to talk about myself. No, I came to Newport, Tennessee, because I want some of that southern flavor. But I ain't talking about Zaxby's. I ain't talking about Waffle House. I'm talking about every single person in that locker room. Tonight, I am issuing an open challenge. Who has enough basketballs to face me one-on-one on this court? But don't get it twisted. This isn't garbage time. When you step on the court with me, you best believe you're gonna get crossed up. And while you're laying there, broken ankles in your hand, tears streaming down your face, asking me, how did you do that? Best believe it's gotta be the goggles.
All right, cool.
I'll have you flop like a
Very good. I want to try something different. Again, I know we got some time, but 30 seconds if you could. Here's what I want you to do. Again, great. Love. I want you to use the bat. You ain't got the basketballs, the go, whatever you did. You ever hear of a guy named Charles Barkley?
Yeah.
Okay, just trust me on this. Okay, here's perfect example. Do we all know what his gimmick is? When he comes through the curtain, in the first 3 to 5 seconds when we look at him, this guy's probably got some kind of a sick J, or at least goes hard in the paint. Those are both basketball references. We know who he is. The costume does the work. So now that's done, just act like the toughest guy in the world, like you're an enforcer or whatever. Use your basketball's references, but just give me a little different delivery. Like your favorite comic book villain, I don't freaking know.
Newport, Tennessee, right now, you're looking at the #1 point guard in professional wrestling, the master of the Eurostep. But I ain't come all the way from Rucker Park to talk about me, no. I came here because I want to issue a challenge to each and every single person in that locker room. Man or woman, none of you can play one-on-one on my court. So you best believe that the end result is going to be the same. And I'm going to cross your booty cheeks up and slam it all the way back to the East Coast.
All right, how did that feel? Right? It was like yeah, but no, that was good, right? You don't have to play like my gimmick is a basketball player. Bro, you got the outfit. Now, like, and if you get a chance to watch that promo back, see the difference, right? Just see the difference, and I hope that gave you something to kind of go off of, because that the second one was noticeably better, and the fact that you underplayed your character, very good.
Oh, hey! It's not unusual to be loved by anyone, but it's unusual to see me cry. Party McFly. That's right. Oh, lightning kid in the flesh, the futuristic throwback. That's Party McFly, PRT. Why? Because I gotta here in School of Morton. I hear there's an X Division championship on the line, and Party McFly wants to get in line to be in this ring. #1.
I give that promo a 2, as in position 2, because you got my attention, and that means it's a 10 on the scale from 1 to 10. So good.
You know what pisses me off? That when you have the opportunity in front of your face, you stand here to talk about yourself, and the one thing that you decide to do is to talk about me. Like, come on. The one shot that you get, each and every single one of you decide to say, you know what, let's talk about Javen Myra. Because that seems to be the topic that's been going around for far too long. Hell, I bet all of you are hoping that you can get a shot in a little battle royal tonight, huh? That's why you're still here. But it ain't gonna happen. Because none of you want this. None of you deserve this. In case, hey, you asked if this is called the School of Morton, right? No, it's not. Let me tell you what this place is. The moment that Javen Myra walks through those doors, this is my building. You can try to kick me out of it. You can try to ban me from it. You can try to keep me off of any poster that you want. It doesn't change the fact that when I walk in any room, when it comes down to the way that I walk, to the way that I talk, to the way that I execute every single thing that I do, ain't none of you are on my damn level. When you walk into this building, you're not walking in to the School of Morton. That's why they took it down. Because at the end of the day, when you stand in my ring, when you step in front of my camera, in front of my lights, when my bell rings, you are stepping into the sanctuary of Myra. And I know it pisses you off. That's why you want to try to keep me hidden from anything that comes here. Hell, you got an NWA guy here. You got TNA here. You even got OVW here. And you know what pisses me off? That I come here and I bust my ass more than any of you ever will. You complain about the miles. You complain about the drive, the money. You're afraid of who Javen Myra is. So I'll tell you one thing. When you leave here with the opportunity you were looking for, Just know when you don't get the call. Just like the name the mouse can't keep out, understand and realize that you ain't get it. Because Javen Myra's here.
Ladies and gentlemen, all the way from CA. He's about 5 hours late, but he's the reason you came here, and I don't have to keep talking now. Give it up for Santino!
How we're gonna do it, but we gotta try to form a couple lines. Just wanna do some stuff down here, some cartwheels and stuff like that.
Can we get everybody in line?
Yeah, we'll start from this side.
I'm on this side.
Everybody move back, and that's the. Just try and get a couple cartwheels in. Good. Okay, guys, get a partner. Get a partner. We're gonna do some pummeling drills. Yeah, look what we're gonna do. So one guy has an underhook, one guy has an overhook. So he has an under, and we both have an under and over. Yeah, with my outside hand, I'm gonna try and get it in. At the same time, he's doing that, and then we switch. Now my outside hand again, I'm gonna get in. At the same time, he's doing that, and we switch. Okay, we're gonna do that back and forth. Okay, it's called pummeling. Then keep weaving the hands. The origin of this is if we're wrestling, and it's advantageous to get a double underhook sometimes, depending on whatever you take down. If I have a double underhook, you can't slide down to the other leg. That's kind of control it. Anyway, so if someone gets underhooks on me and I'm not comfortable, I've got to kick it in. I got to kick it in. We're fighting for the underhook essentially. So if that should help you do it. If you forget where you are, just remember that your goal is to get the underhook. Okay, I want the underhook. And then it should happen a little easier knowing what you're actually supposed to be doing. Try and get it. He has the underhook. Go!
Microphones.
Later on, we're going to make some noise when we're in pain and we're angry and all this stuff. But save the noise. Because if you use up all this noise now, noise doesn't mean shit. But if you save the noise for later, it must mean something because now he's making noise. Little things like that help put value on stuff that you wouldn't even normally imagine. So let's keep quiet in the beginning and wrestle. And we'll get louder later. You gotta have something that makes you stand up. We can battle those physical, because they're going to fucking NBA or college basketball teams or football teams. God damn, these guys are monsters. But with passion and obsession, we can overcome those obstacles, you know? So we have to master our craft in a different capacity. They're going to be taught the basics. We don't want to be basic. We want to stand out. Now, if I show you something here, for example, a technique today, and you guys went to an indie show and nobody from the camp was here, and you did this stuff, you're going to stand out. Okay? Now we're going to go behind. Immediately start walking with a couple of spots, okay? Okay, so a couple things. Habits. If anyone stands there and gives you a headlock for a long time and it's in the early stages of the match, and if you feel comfortable about doing some freestyle stuff, just grab the waist and have a sit down. Just wrestle out of it. I believe the audience is a little more grappling savvy these days. But to really get them involved, it just can't be. No one's going to believe this is a fight, you know? And that's what we want to draw them in. We want to, I call it the believability meter, right? It's like watching a scary movie and the fucking microphone just falls in and you're like, I'm not scared anymore. Same with kids watching, you know? They can be totally into a match and all of a sudden I do this and he takes a bump and the kid goes, what was that?
Sorry, boys.
Yes, give me a second. Okay, we're gonna do another little something here. Let's lock it up. We're just gonna do a little wax on. Okay, what's that wax off? I don't know. Here, you pull and step and go behind. Same thing. Here we go. Lock up, wax off. I believe. Pull, step. Okay. So what I'm doing when I'm doing wax off, I'm feeding this hand to this hand. Where I'm gonna now pull across and step, come around. Okay. Nice and easy. Let's do a couple of those.
Pop up. Yes, wax off. Yeah. Bring it up to the third. That's it. Oh my God.
That's the only difference.
Yeah, you feed it with one hand.
Two guys obviously at a time. We'll start at mid whatever. Mid match. Have a headlock, shoot, tackle, drop down, leapfrog if you can. Hip toss, sharp drag, body slam. And just for the sake of the drill, the bad guy's gonna get up and stumble, create it organically to the corner. Babyface gets up and sees it, runs. And everyone knows how to take a post. Stop yourself with your thighs on the turnbuckle. You should not reach the corner if you. That's a shorter turnbuckle. Well, maybe watch out for the corner. don't hurt yourself, please. Okay. But it's the rhythm. We're focusing on the rhythm. Wah, wah. Wow. If you do it following that rhythm, it's a success, okay?
Such a cheater! That mustache sticks here.
No!
That's fancy, Danny. You going on, dumbass?
Come on! No! Smells like baby oil Vaseline. Get up. Oh!
Come on, Dalton. Oh, Dalton.
That was genuinely painful.
Come on, Dalton. Get it. Get it.
if they were two identical silhouettes, could they tell it was you? By the way you move, right? Think about this. Triple H, Undertaker, Stone Cold Steve Austin, Rock, Hogan, Macho Man, him, right? It's how you move, it's being in that character all the time. So that is where we have to be mentally. And when we're aware of that and we have an awareness of the cameras, I love being on TV and being shot in front of a camera. So, I mean, I knew hard cam, there was Marty, there was Stu, we have Shane at NWA, we have a great camera crew at NWA, but like, when I'm out here performing, right, like on one side of my brain, I am just letting everything go and just doing it and relying on my training, on the basics, what Santino went over with you guys, we went over a little bit in there. Every strike you do like it's the finish of WrestleMania. There's no such thing as a transitional move. Everything you do it 100%, including selling and registering. But then, after that point, you have to process and develop that sixth sense. Cameras are here, entrance is there, hard cam's there, the finishing spot is happening here, and you gotta do this all at once. You can do it, but the best way to do it is just get reps in. So,
if I had a problem with someone, I'd say, yo, you got a fucking problem? You gonna do something about it? I wouldn't all of a sudden start saying, do you got a problem with me? Are you gonna do? Because that's not the way I talk. And I'm just repeating this is not my opinion, repeating what they say at the Performance Center or whatever. They're looking for a conversation. A promo is really, the audience is being privileged enough to listen in on a conversation that someone's having with either an opponent or whatever. So they really want to go away from, and it's one of those ironies, right? Do a promo, but don't make it sound like a promo.